This is Aubrey from the So Wizard podcast, and you're listening to the Geek World All-Stars Podcast Network.
Welcome to the continued podcast adventures of Superhero Speak.
But I think many of the people that love this character and that love superheroes in general have used these stories as inspiration to say, you know what, I'm going to do something good in the world. I'm going to make a difference like my hero when I was a kid.
That is my fondest memory of it, because when you're doing comic books, you want them to affect people, right? You want people to care. You want to strike emotions, and I knew that Clone Saga was striking a lot of emotions.
Can you imagine Pulp Fiction starring Goofy and Mickey Mouse?
I can totally imagine that.
I'm sure somebody's written that one too.
Quarter pounder with cheese and France, Mickey. What? Boy, ale with cheese. Yeah, I can totally.
See?
I would watch the hell out of that movie.
Yes, I gladly sacrifice my progeny to you, almighty Marvel beast.
But Neil Adams is somewhere going, it's my time.
How do you measure success?
Hey everyone, you're listening to Superhero Speak, and I'm your host Dave.
And John.
And JD.
And we're going to start the all-singing version of Superhero Speak right now. Oh, wait, sorry.
No. No, Joss Whedon had nothing to do with this episode.
Yes, nothing at all. So I guess real quickly, we had a lot to talk about this week, guys. So I figured real quickly we'll just go around and see how everyone's week was. JD, you weren't here last week because you were off busy winning again.
So we'll ignore him and no, go ahead.
I was busy collecting championships.
Ooh.
It was awesome.
How many did you get?
Team-wise, we won 3 of the 4 divisions, and of my kids, I had 1 champion and 1 runner-up.
Nice.
And we've had 2, for the last 3 straight years, we've had 2 kids in the finals. So that's pretty awesome. And these are like 130-man brackets, so it's pretty good.
Damn.
Yeah, it was great. It was a good weekend for both the DeKalb Barbs and Team Illinois.
Cool.
Oh.
7 straight days of coaching. I'm tired.
Yes. I would imagine you would be.
From like 8 a.m. to 9 p.m. I mean, these were like long days.
Damn, dude.
So, yeah.
Yeah, how many books did you write while you did that?
I actually went back in my spare time.
Don't tell me this.
No, I was actually working on the first one again because I actually got editor notes on the first book. So I was going back and addressing her notes, and I was like, geez, I'm better. So I basically was doing some rewrites on the first book, which I feel like I had to. So, rewrites are a living hell, which you have to like just pull yourself out of. Like books are never finished. You just have to kind of let them go.
Right.
Unless you're George Lucas.
Yeah, and that's the problem is you keep seeing when you create, all you see is flaws. And eventually you have to like divorce yourself and be like, all right, just it's done. It is what it is. Except the fact that you suck.
Yeah. No, and it's so funny too, because it's even weirder when it's your own art you're creating. Like I remember being in grade school and high school and being in like the high school band and playing concerts and stuff, and like afterwards saying, "Oh, I messed this part up." My dad would always say the same, like, no one knows that you made the mistake, so it doesn't matter, And then when I was in my own bands and whatnot, it was even worse when I was like, "Oh man, I messed that part up." It's like no one knows the song, we wrote it,
right?
See, when I sang in choirs, you could sort of blend in, and as long as you got something in the same chord, you were usually safe. So, although I did a number or 2 solos once, and I messed up, and then it's like you said, it's like you're sweating for the rest of it, and then you find out from everybody who's listening, I didn't catch that.
Exactly.
Like
that said, the first book will come out September 10th.
Oh, awesome.
Very happy.
Exciting.
And the name of the first book is?
Harvest Moon.
That's the stuff you've been promoting on Twitter. I mean, Facebook, right?
Correct.
Oh.
Not really promoting, just kind of show off some covers and stuff.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, officially hits on September 10.
Are you working with a specific artist on this?
Yeah, I do actually. I found a cover artist in Germany. I believe her name is Les. We worked through like a Fiverr basically, and I found her on Fiverr. But she's super, super talented, and like I'm paying clearly more than $5 a cover. But she's great. She gets what I'm doing, and I really like the results we've had so far of the covers. They look good.
Yeah, they've been great. Cool. Yeah. How about you, John? Done anything exciting this week?
I did one thing. Just one. I got myself an editor. I got myself an editor, and it's really funny how much that they can cost. So, but yeah, I'm actually progressing finally.
Good for you.
Cool.
Scared. What?
That is good to hear.
Well, it scares the crap out of me.
Yes, John, but I've known you for a long time, and you've been talking about writing this book for as long as I've known you.
Yeah, I know.
I hope I've motivated you to get it finished.
Oh, you do. You make me feel like crap, so I'm like, I have to do this.
The best way to get something done.
Well, I mean, seriously, yeah. I mean, well, and I'm pushing myself because, it's like, okay, I've got an editor. Well, now I have somebody who's waiting for it. And all through my life, that has been like the one impetus that has always worked on me is like, somebody's waiting for this. Oh, okay, well, then I have to do it. And it usually forces me into, actual production mode. So
that's exactly why I just made that announcement 2 minutes ago. Because now I have to.
Seriously? Is that really? Really?
Oh, 100%. Because, like, I gotta, it's like, you gotta let it go. Like, I don't have a problem doing it. I have a problem letting it go. And fearing, the fear of, is this not good enough? You just gotta go, screw it, let it go.
Okay, so when you hand it to your editor, do you always feel like you're just handing them a pile of feces?
Yes.
That's the way I feel. I mean,
I always feel good after the first draft. Because it's the raw emotional draft. Then you go back and you go, God, this blows. And then I feel, every time I finish a draft, I feel better about it. It all depends on mood. Like I was working today while the kid was at preschool, and I was like, God, you suck. So, I mean, it all depends on the mood. But yeah, when it comes, it is what it is. You'll never think you're as good as you are. Nor are you ever going to be as bad as you think you are. It's always in between. You're never as good, you're never as bad. You're just freaking mediocre.
Well, Dave, you probably know the editor, but I'll talk to you after. But yeah, it's good. So I'm hoping to get mine done by the end of this year because, that'll be one to JD's 5 or 6 this year, but I'll have one.
Do you know that I read a stat that it's like 85% of the people that want to write a book don't? And then, like, of that, only 30% of those people actually publish it.
See, and that's the thing. I've had this idea for this book since I was 9 years old. Literally 40 years.
I believe it.
It's about freaking time. I mean, it's like, what else am I going to do? Right? I like work, but I like hanging out with creators. I found that I really love this community. So I would rather be in this community. And if I have to do that, then I have to write a book to do it.
For real?
Yeah. See, I've had an idea for a comic book and for a book for a while now. Maybe I should do something.
You rolled 30 on the percentile dice, didn't you?
The way I figure is it's better to release something that's not good rather than not release anything.
Okay. So here's the thing. The one thing that gives me hope is that there is this guy who writes books. They're on Amazon, and they are absolutely horrible books. I mean, really, really horrible books. And he sells a lot of them. And I figure if he can sell his books, there's no way I'm going to fail at this worse. Yeah, there's no way I can be as bad as that. I have to be able to do better.
You're talking something completely different, though. Writing a good book and selling a good book are two completely different things. And I agree, there's a lot of books out there that sell. There's a lot of traditionally published books that I think are terrible that have sold a lot of companies, mostly stuff by Dan Brown. But like, there's a completely different set of skills there, and like that's what I've been really digging into over the last year plus is how to market, especially on Amazon, because it's something you could spend a lot of money and do, or spend a lot of time in figuring out. And I highly recommend spending the time to figure it out. There's a lot of good books out there that people will never buy because they don't know, because the author doesn't know how to get the word out. Like Amazon and now Google Play, big announcement today, Google Play is making a play for that market, have really given the power to the author where you can make the money. You don't need a traditionally published house, but you need to know how to tell people, how do people find your work? That's where the work really comes in.
And that's when you just watch what Dirk Manning does.
That dude's a hustler, man. That's a great example.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Dave, how's the inadequacy going?
Wow. Well, you know,
you of with the grandkids and the and the daughter, the wonderful daughter, and
but still no job. Still no job yet.
Way to kick a man while he's down.
We gotta find you a job.
I've been on
really?
I had an interview last week. I'm waiting to hear back from them. But yeah, so what I did this week, my mother-in-law turned 75, and she basically had 5 parties in 5 days. 5 celebrations.
That's hardcore.
It started off with her saying, I just want something, I want a simple thing, I want to do a pie party. Right? So her idea was that people would just show up and bring, their favorite pie with them, whether it was a pizza pie or a chicken pot pie or an apple pie, and everyone would have pie. And that was her idea. And then it blew into, well, first off, on her actual birthday, a group of us took her out to dinner. And then we went back to my daughter's, and my daughter made ice cream pie for everyone. And then her sister threw a party for her that we were invited to on the next Thursday, which was the next day. And then we ended up going out to lunch with a group of people on Friday, and we were like, while we're here, we just told them we were at Olive Garden, and of course they came and sang happy birthday to her. Yes. My brother-in-law took her out Saturday for lunch and did the same thing. And then yesterday, Sunday, she had her actual pie party at her house where we had pizza and chicken pot pie and some dessert pies. So, yeah, I'm tired.
Well,
I can't keep up with a 75-year-old. Maybe it's why I can't find a job.
Oh.
But that's enough about us, I think. So I know we normally do social media madness at this point, but we have so much news to talk about. We
had to spend all this time in the beginning talking about ourselves. Yes.
It's our show, damn it.
Yes. So we're going to skip over social media madness for this week. Sorry for those who might be disappointed.
God.
I'm really disappointed.
The only social media shout out we're going to give is to the Geek World All-Stars. Of course, that includes us, So Wizard Podcast, Fans on Patrol, the Pop Prism Power Podcast, Cult 45, and the Gorilla Brain Podcast. And of course, you can follow Geek World All-Stars on Twitter at @stars_geek. So make sure you guys do that.
Speaking of social media, I'm guesting this week on Take a Knee for Marvel and DC.
Oh my God.
People that we met on this show. I'm pretty excited about that.
Oh my God. Wait a minute. How come you're doing it and they didn't invite me?
Because I fished it out.
Oh, okay.
No, I was listening to their shows while I was traveling, and I hit the guys up with the DM like, man, I really like your show. It's like ours, but you guys are kind of cool.
This goes back to the not having confidence in what you do, probably.
Yes.
They're like nerds, but like cool nerds. Unlike us that are just like, regular nerds.
Yes, we're just regular
So
nerds.
I'm looking forward to, bringing down their show.
So if you want to check out any of the Geek World All-Stars or take a knee from Marvel or DC, you know where you can find all those great podcasts? On Podcoin, guys. Don't forget about Podcoin. It is the pod player that pays you to listen.
I literally forgot about them.
Yeah. And, so you can check it out. For every podcast you listen to, you earn Podcoins. And after you earn so many Podcoins, you can trade them in for gift certificates to places like Starbucks, Dunkin' Donuts, or Amazon. And, if you don't want to do that, you can take them and trade them in for charity. So check them out. That is Podcoin. You can download it for your iOS or Android device. And if you sign up today and use the code HeroSpeak, you'll get 300 Podcoins on us. It is the best way to listen to podcasts. So now that it has said all of that.
Is Podcoin considered a crypto?
No, why?
I don't know. I'm just curious. Is Podcoin a crypto? Because cryptocurrencies are like all the rage right now.
No, but it's not a crypto because you can only trade it in with stuff from them, Yeah, you can't buy it directly from the manufacturers. So on that note, I think we'll take a quick commercial break and we'll be right back.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
And we're back, and we're going to talk some news, and boy, do we have a lot of news to talk about this week, guys.
Something happened?
I believe there's a little show in California. It's San Diego. I believe it's called Comic-Con that happened this weekend.
Yeah, it's not as big as New York, so who cares?
or Fargo, North Dakota.
I don't go.
Shout out to our 12 fans in Fargo.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, before we even talk about the news that came out of San Diego, there is one news story that I thought it was going to get a little more coverage than it did. And that, of course, is Endgame has finally surpassed Avatar as the #1 movie of all time. Yay! It quietly did it this weekend.
Thank the goddess. It's about freaking time somebody knocked Avatar out. Still can't figure out, after all this time, how and why for Avatar. Just have no idea.
Meh.
Yeah, so it's, it currently, I think, was sitting at like 2.79 billion, 2.90 billion or 9 billion, and Avatar's 2.88. So it's like, it beat it by, I think that comes out to 20 million. So yeah, it's, if they re-release Avatar, they'll probably take the spot back.
Oh, please. Well, I mean, they could, considering how long has it been since they promised that there would be sequels, and, well, we're waiting.
Dave Bautista was just cast in one of the sequels today, so maybe it is a reality. Or maybe, I don't know, who cares?
Maybe this lit fire under James Cameron to actually get them finished.
I somehow don't think that they'll do as good as that one did.
No, I don't think so at this point either.
I don't think anyone cares about Avatar.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, like I said.
Yeah, it was a phenomenon, I think, when it came out. I don't think you're going to recapture that with the sequels, so. Alright, so now moving on to some Marvel news. Marvel basically, I think, blew everyone out of the water with all the news they released this weekend at the show. Starting with released the full slate of Phase 4 projects, well, at least for the next 2 years. And it's fascinating because we knew about most of this stuff, but some of the details are kind of a little mind-blowing. Starting obviously with, we'll just go over this real quick, what they're releasing. Black Widow is going to be May 1st, 2020.
Which has got to be a prequel.
Not necessarily.
Not necessarily.
Oh, yeah, that's right. A Skrull actually died, not Black Widow. Sorry.
The Falcon and Winter Soldier will be released in fall of 2020.
Oh, spoilers, by the way.
November 6th, 2020, we get the Eternals movie. February 12th, 2021, we get Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings.
Yes, Ten Rings means what I think it does, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So Ben Kingsley is coming back.
No.
Spring of 2021, we get WandaVision on Disney Plus. May 7th, 2021, we get Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness.
That is the greatest title I've ever heard.
And does that is that mean anything? Is it like from a storyline or something? Or
no,
it's going to do something.
Then we get spring of 2021. We get the Loki Disney Plus series. Summer of 2021, we get the What If series. And fall of 2021, we get a Hawkeye series. That was rumored, but now it's obviously confirmed. And then November 5th, 2021, we get Thor 4, Love and Thunder.
Okay.
Love and Thunder.
That one, and I think Shang-Chi are the two that I'm really interested in, but Thor is going to be...
So...
What? Taika Waititi's coming back for it too, so it should be pretty awesome.
Yeah, but it's you know who that's coming back for that one.
We'll get to Thor in a moment. First, one of the things that excited me, and again, I told you guys to add if you wanted to add this, add stuff. But one of the things that excited me was the villain in the Black Widow movie.
The Taskmaster.
Yes, I actually like the Taskmaster.
Me too.
You know, he's what's the word I'm looking for? Basically a mercenary who can copy anything against the heroes that he fights. And
he doesn't copy their powers, but he can copy like all their moves, all their muscle memory.
Yeah.
Exactly. So it should be interesting.
He's kind of like a Deathstroke, John. Like if I were to find like before Deadpool came around and became like the mock Deathstroke, like he's pretty close to that. It's a good character.
I mean, the only reason I know anything about him because he was in one of the animations, one of the cartoons that they had. But as I understand it, like there are a few people that can beat him, like Deadpool, because there's no way to figure out what he's going to do next. Something like he's just too unpredictable.
That's true.
Yes. Which also, like, he's a villain I think a lot of people like. Some people don't know who he is.
Yeah, well, we were all looking up Thanos when he first appeared, so...
Speak for yourself.
Yeah, exactly. What do you...
Okay, I am a DC guy, all right? Jeez.
But it also lends me to, like, okay, are we going to get another throwaway villain in the Marvel Universe?
Yes. It's what they do.
Well, I mean, so think about it this way. If it's a prequel, and he doesn't die in it, can he come back to fight another hero? And
have they officially said this is a prequel?
No, they haven't. They haven't said... I don't think there's a lot of details known about it just yet. About the storyline. So...
I did hear something about Scarlett Johansson playing a tree in this movie or something.
A tree?
What?
You guys didn't hear that comment where she said she should be allowed to play anything, a woman, man, dog, or a tree?
Right, because of the whitewashing thing and all that.
Yeah, exactly. All I can think is now she wants to take the Groot role.
Yeah.
Well, more power to her.
If she can beat Vin Diesel, sure. I mean, I'd pay to watch that.
There's a Fast and the Furious joke there that I just can't find.
No.
I'm very, very disappointed in myself.
No, you're right. It'll probably be another throwaway villain. It's just like, I'm so tired of them.
It's what they do.
Yes. However, Civil War, who was the villain?
Strucker.
What?
No, Zemo.
Zemo. They have confirmed that Zemo is returning in the Falcon Winter Soldier TV series.
I'm okay with that. I think that Zemo's an underutilized character in the movie for sure. I don't know, like it seems like this thing is going to be really about the legacy of Captain America. So this seems pretty cool. See what they do.
Yeah, I think they can make that work really well.
Yeah.
All right, and all right. So that's enough, I think, about Black Widow. We'll move on. I think this was the news that shocked everyone the most. Correct me if I'm wrong. I'm going to mess his name up. How do you say his name?
Mahershala.
Mahershala Ali is the MCU's Blade.
That is so badass.
Because of the actor or because
both.
Okay.
The dude got the Oscar for Green Book. And the next day, he called Kevin Feige and said, I want to set up a meeting. Shows up and says, I want to play Blade.
Yep.
Wow.
Kevin Feige is a man who likes money. And said, you are the new Blade, good sir.
I can't believe that there are rumors that Wesley Snipes was sniffing around wanting to see if he could reprise his character.
I don't think they were rumors.
Whistler. He should be the new Whistler.
That would be cool.
Right?
Oh my God.
Yeah, that would work.
That would be perfect.
So Mahershala Ali has quite the history with Marvel already. He was Cottonmouth on Luke Cage, and he was also the Prowler in Into the Spider-Verse.
Does he have martial arts training?
Who cares? They'll teach him.
Yeah.
Well,
did Steve Rogers know how to? Not Steve Rogers. Chris Evans know hand-to-hand combat and how to throw a shield before he became Captain America. I mean,
they're actors.
Yeah.
Jackie Chan didn't know martial arts before he started doing those movies.
Yeah. Yeah.
But some people would say he still doesn't because he uses he uses like windshield wipers all around.
John, there's no bad mouthing of Jackie Chan when I'm in the room.
Yes. But John, I don't agree with you. I saw a couple people online. Make the same complaint or observations, like, "Oh well, Wesley Snipes already knew how to do martial arts. That's why he was Blade. Does this guy know anything?" And it's just like, it doesn't matter, especially in today's world of special effects and stunt doubles and digital.
Well, I would rather them lay off the special effects and do what Keanu Reeves does and have very long cuts instead of everything chopped to pieces because they had somebody who couldn't handle the martial arts.
Keanu Reeves also did not know martial arts before the Matrix movies.
I know, but he's Keanu Reeves.
Yeah, but he can learn it. And this is Mahershala Ali. He's a very good actor, and he will learn enough to make it look good for a movie.
He's an Oscar winner. I think he can figure it out.
I'm not pushing this. It's just curious. That's all. I mean, it's nice to see Blade coming into it, and that works because Doctor Strange and all that. I mean, you've got all this mysticism coming out now.
However, it was pointed out that since his sister was already in Civil War as the mother of the kid who was killed, and now he's Blade, this is officially saying the MCU doesn't recognize the Netflix shows as existing.
They could be, not necessarily. You could play two different characters. Although you're probably right on that. They never really did.
Well, they never wanted to, right? It was Feige.
Right.
Yeah.
So,
and now they're very quietly ignoring that those shows ever happened.
Well, they're doing the same thing with Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. They haven't mentioned the snap at all, and supposedly then this season happens a year after that happened. You'd think that would be signs all over the place, but there's nothing.
Or 5 years worth of stuff, yeah. There's no congruity between Marvel Studios and Marvel Television until this wave of Disney Plus shows.
Yes.
Okay, so yeah, that's fine. Blade's back. That's going to bring in a whole bunch of stuff. Morbius can't be far behind, I'm sure.
Well, it is
because Jared Leto is going to be Morbius
in a Sony-owned movie.
Terrible Sony movie.
Oh God. Well, at least they're using Jared Leto to warn us. When they cast him, we know to stay away.
That was a good one.
All right, so moving on, we got the official cast of the Eternals movie, because I know we were all dying to find out who's playing who.
Yeah. This is a hot take to say I don't care.
Yeah.
Angelina Jolie as Thena.
Suddenly I care.
Richard Madden as Icarus. Kamal Najin as Kinjo. Salma Hayek as Ajax. Brian Thierry Henry as Phantos. Leah McHugh as Sprite. And Lauren Rudolph as Makari. And Don Lee as Gilgamesh.
Gilgamesh,
yes.
I never read any of the Eternals books, so...
No one has.
Oh, okay.
It's true. This wasn't exactly one of Kirby. This is what Kirby did after the New Gods. This is like what Jack Kirby didn't get around to doing in DC.
Right.
That's what the Eternals is.
And from my understanding, even though Kirby created it, it was never really meant to be part of Marvel proper either.
Right. This is Kirby doing some way out there Kirby stuff toward the end of his career. Mm-hmm. I don't know, man. Anyone who says they're excited for this movie is a complete Marvel zombie. Like, I'll wait till there's a trailer that comes out. But the Eternals?
Well, again, I hate to say it. This is Marvel, and they brought the Guardians of the Galaxy out of the bin. So maybe this'll. I mean, the only thing I worry about is they're not. I mean, I'm not knocking on any of these actors, but it looks like they're going for pure star power to get people to see it, whereas they could have done what they did with Guardians of the Galaxy and just picked, good actors. They didn't have to go for, both Salma Hayek and Angelina Jolie and, all these others that are all well known. And
it's one of those, it almost makes you feel like they cast big names because they're afraid no one's going to go see this.
Yes.
Possible.
Yeah.
I mean, so this is deep cuts Marvel, and at least Guardians of the Galaxy had a super popular run that predated that movie. Mm-hmm. Like the DNA version of Guardians of the Galaxy, which is basically the Guardians of the Galaxy we all know and love, was popular. Like, it was a cult classic in the mid 2000s. Eternals, this is like I said, Jack Kirby deep cuts. And I know there was a miniseries with Neil Gaiman and Daniel Acuna probably about 10 years ago, but
yeah, exactly. I don't know. I expect a Nova movie before Eternals, and they still haven't officially announced the Nova movie yet.
This is like when the Patriots put out that quarterback. That when Tom Brady gets hurt, and they always put out that backup quarterback, and everybody's like, "Oh, the Patriots are going to lose," and they keep winning. This is that level of confidence.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of things that are questionable in Phase 4, so of course we're getting Thor 4, Love and Thunder, and they're going to do the female Thor with Natalie Portman.
No, I'm excited about this.
Yeah, I'm cool with it.
So,
yeah. One question: the logo. for Thor: Love and Thunder, that is a play on some other logo for some other movie.
It does look like that.
I can't figure out. It's not gore. It's not heavy metal. There's some like B movie or something that has that exact font and the way it's laid out, and I cannot figure out. I can't remember for the life of me. So if either of you can figure that out, that'd be really helpful right now. But yes,
it does look familiar. You're right.
Yeah. It's like
I don't know. It reminds me of like the Thundercats or He-Man.
It does look like Thundercats.
Maybe it was Beastmaster. I can't.
It looks a lot like Thundercats.
Look, so here's my concern. I'm not going to say I have an issue with it because, again, I've often said if they've done it in the comics, I'll accept them. I'll accept them adapting it in the movie, right? Like I know, like they're not just doing it. It's not just a pandering move. Like this is a story that exists in the comics. However, here's my issues with them doing it in the MCU. Number one, part of the storyline was it being a mystery who the female Thor was, right? Like they kept it a secret for a long time. When they launched it, like they're telling you right away, oh yeah, she's back. She's Jane Foster. She's going to be Thor.
I thought she was gone.
Well, she was, which means there was a really good offer to bring her back.
Exactly. That's the other thing. Like she was gone. She didn't want to do these movies anymore. Now all of a sudden, they offered her a crap load of money to come back.
I don't know if it's just a crap load of money too, because she was also in Endgame.
No, that was
for as laying down. That was basically it, right?
Yeah. She walks around like she doesn't have like any scenes, but you see her. She appears.
But wasn't that? I thought
she does a cameo.
Was that actually her, or was that B footage from?
You can't do that. That is not that. That is the Crispin Glover rule.
What?
Oh yes, Back to the Future too. Crispin Glover did not want to play George McFly, so they took cut footage from it, put it in the movie, and he sued the snot out of him.
Oh no, but I think if you get permission to do it and give
you got to get permission for him. But I mean, like
that's what I'm saying. Like they might have just
she was on board.
Okay.
Like it wasn't like they just took it from her. But I mean, like clearly she wants to be on board, and there's a big difference between Thor 2 and Thor 3.
Yes, yeah. Now hold on, but here is my real issue with it. Okay, it's a long established rule in the Marvel universe in the comics that whoever possesses Mjolnir has the power of Thor. Whoever's worthy enough to possess Mjolnir will get the power of Thor. So that's why Donald Blake? No.
What Donald Blake? You're right.
Donald Blake gets the power, becomes Thor, blah, blah, blah. That's the whole thing. And look, I understand they got rid of Donald Blake in the comics, but in the storyline, she's given the powers because she's dying of cancer, and it's to keep her alive.
Well, he was also deemed unworthy.
Right.
There was no one worthy enough to be Thor.
Right. I mean, yes, but the reason that Odin gave it to her was to help keep her alive. And exactly, that's the other thing. Once the hammer was taken away from him, he lost all his powers. Right? He was now
not all, some.
The majority of it.
Yeah, the heavy hitting powers, yeah.
He was unworthy. A thing. Well, they did the whole point of Ragnarok and even Infinity War was establishing he doesn't need the hammer. The powers are in him. So
that gives you, I hear where you're coming from on this. Like, you're questioning that said, I think they're going to do something a little different than they did in the comic, because you're right, they did the whole Thor redemption story in Endgame. That's been done. So I think they're going to do something, they have to do something different.
Right.
And I do think that she will have the hammer. I don't know where they're going with this, and it's super early, so I'm not going to make any criticism. Like, it will be different. Like, who thought Thor Ragnarok was basically going to be a Planet Hulk adaptation?
Yeah.
But they did their own thing with it. Like, I think that Taika Waititi's kind of proven that he'll take some inspiration from the comics to draw his own story, which is cool. Like I said, I've always been a fan of taking from the salad bar of continuity. So I think they're going to do something like that. Like, I imagine Jane Foster probably will have cancer, and it probably will be her. I could see Natalie Portman getting into that idea, to be honest with you, doing the superhero before you die story.
Yeah.
I don't know what they're going to do. I don't know how they're going to do the house, but I trust them. Like, there's enough interest accrued for me to say, okay, I'll go on this ride and see where they go.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I also kind of feel like it feels like dirty pool to bring her back to have her die at the end of the movie.
Which is pretty much what they did, but they might not do that either. I mean, who knows? Like, I think that's the story. Like, there's a million places they could go, and if it's a good moment, like, I think you could have a really good moment there with her dying. Like, I don't know what they're gonna do. Like, but I think the inclusion of Tessa Thompson as Valkyrie makes it different enough that we could have something really fun and unique.
Right.
Plus, I think it's time that Natalie Portman gets to actually do something in one of these movies.
No, I'm not. Yeah, I'm not disagreeing with that. I'm just listing my concerns. You know, will it work? Concerns. Because my whole thing is when you establish a set of rules within your movie universe, and then you violate them just to tell a story. It's like, yeah, no, you know. So.
Well, I want to see them violated before we make such conclusion. I hear your concerns.
I'd rather not see anybody violated on the big screen. Thank you.
You're a liar.
So yeah, is there anything before we get to the couple of general announcements that were made with no details? Was there any other things you guys wanted to talk about, specifics that were announced by Marvel?
Yeah, I'm really digging this Shang-Chi movie, specifically as we've all heard my diatribe on Iron Man 3 and how I think it's the worst cinematic crime in history. I think this movie could really alleviate all of my problems with Iron Man 3. Like, aside from us getting the cool part about, I don't know how, have you read that much Shang-Chi, the old Master of Kung Fu stuff?
I have, I probably have about 10 issues in my collection.
So it's total, the old stuff is really like total, like 70s exploitation.
Oh, yes.
I love those. I love old Kung Fu movies. But like the big problem with Shang-Chi was his stepfather was Fu Manchu. And so you've got a public domain character that's pretty much, associated with Yellowface. And I get why that's problematic. But I think it's pretty genius that they've alleviated that problem with the character by making the villain the real Mandarin. Like, it makes perfect sense to sub Mandarin for Fu Manchu. And just the idea. Yes.
What if they made the Mandarin his father?
I think that's what they're going to do.
Oh, okay.
Like, that was literally the point I was trying to make, which clearly I wasn't doing a very good job of. But I think that's what they're going to do. I think instead of having his father be Fu Manchu, it'll be Mandarin, and it makes perfect sense. Like, Shang-Chi is such a cool character, and like I like the idea of doing a straight up kung fu film in the Marvel universe. Like, this move, of all the announcements, this is the one that had me the most excited.
Well, it's cool because he's not Danny Rand, apparently. So,
and that's good too. Is there were a lot of people that worked up because Danny Rand they wanted to make Danny Rand Asian, and the argument I had is no, let's not do that. Let's wait till they have the real guy like Shang-Chi, and like the fact that Shang-Chi is going to get the big screen and have his own movie that's going to make a lot of money is awesome. Like, now we've got a really cool Asian Marvel hero that's gonna be awesome, and I can't explain how excited I am.
If you bring in the Mandarin and Shang-Chi, could you then backdoor Danny Rand into the MCU?
Probably. I think they might be leaving him out considering the reaction to the Netflix show.
It could be.
Well, yeah, but a lot of that falls on the direction and the
Oh yeah, but it's still like it's a bad. I mean, well, I'd say I'd like to say that it probably left a bad taste in their mouth. They want to let that like go away for a little bit, but then again, we're in a day and age where they'll throw a new reboot, like a year after a bad movie.
He's a pretty popular character. I don't know. I mean, I think they'll probably try to bring Daredevil in first before they try to bring back Danny Rand, but.
I think the question is, would they use that Danny Rand, or would they create their own?
Oh, I think they're going to
create their own.
They're going to recast. Yeah. They're going to recast all of them when they bring them in.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Although they better not do Jessica Jones because she. What?
No. I know because you love her. You love Kristen Ritter.
Well,
she's great.
Yeah. I mean, that was a perfect casting choice. It's like, it'd be very, and her series did incredibly well, and everybody loved how she portrayed the character. It's going to be very hard to, try to move that good races onto somebody else.
I thought Charlie Cox was really good as Daredevil.
I agree. He was.
Oh, he was. Yes.
So
yeah.
So yes, it's definitely going to be hard to replace everyone but Danny Rand.
Pretty much. Even Punisher. Yeah.
I can't even think of the actor's name who at this point.
Lawrence Tyrell.
Lawrence Tyrell.
That was who played Danny Rand.
What? Oh my god. Yes. Oh wait, that was his name on Game of Thrones. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know his real name. He thought Lawrence Tyrell to me.
Yeah. So there you go. Cool. How about you, John?
It was Finn Jones, by the way.
Finn Jones. That's it.
Yeah.
How do you remember that?
I have a computer in front of me.
So you didn't remember that is the answer.
Well, I am the research specialist.
Was there any?
I'm just really fast.
Was there any specific news you were excited about, John? Before we move on to the couple general announcements.
No, I was Thor: Love and Thunder, and the other one that I'm not even sure I'm interested in the Loki series. I mean, I'll watch it, but what's really exciting to me is Thor and the Shang-Chi. I want to see those, and maybe the What If, depending on what they do.
Yeah, well, I mean that's going to be an animated series, but it's going to have the voices of all the actual actors.
I was going to say, because they've done a whole bunch of What If in all of the cartoon series that Marvel has had on lately. So they'll throw a What If story in, once in a while. So it's not like anything special, but it depends on the animation that they use too.
Are they going to include? Did they announce they're going to include Uatu?
No, I didn't see anything about that.
It's not What If without you don't get to watch her.
Of course.
One question, is the Falcon and the Winter Soldier going to be a buddy cop movie? Or a buddy movie? Just a
if
buddy
it isn't, it's a TV series. And it's a problem.
Yeah, if it's not a buddy cop or like a road picture type movie, yeah, it's not going to work. Because that's what everyone wants.
This better be Lethal Weapon.
Exactly. This is going to be the Lethal Weapon of the MCU.
That would work though, because the chemistry they had in Civil War was just hysterical.
Well, that's what started the whole road of them wanting a team up movie with the two of them.
Yeah.
So then we had just two general announcements. The one was, of course, they confirmed Black Panther 2, Captain Marvel 2, and Guardians 3. I mean, they're all like, duh. We know that they're currently writing the script for Black Panther 2. James Gunn is back for Guardians 3, and
which is great.
I don't think there's any details on Captain Marvel 2 yet, other than obviously what's her face will reprise the role. John, what's her name?
Brie Larson.
Brie Larson, that's it.
That one I didn't have to look up.
The exciting piece that was Feige's kind of saying afterwards, like, oh yeah, we didn't really talk about it in the panel because we don't have any details yet, is he has confirmed they are currently in pre-production of a Fantastic Four movie.
Which isn't on, it's not listed on IMDb.
Did JD just have an aneurysm?
A Swede.
Why? Because this might actually be good?
We deserve a good Fantastic Four movie.
Feige has said he swears he will do them justice.
Are you sure they're not gonna bring in Robbie the Robot?
They probably will bring in Robbie the Robot, and it'll be great.
Yeah,
I know. But then they can call it, was it Fan 5 Stick? No, I'm actually excited about this too, because like after all these reboots and everything, we'll actually get an actual good version of them. Something like what would really be nice is if they brought in George Romero to do it.
If they brought in George Romero, it would be a much different kind of movie.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, it'd be, like I said, I mean, we've discussed this before. His version that was never released was way more, what do you call it?
Zombie-filled?
No, it wasn't.
Well, if it was made by George Romero, it would be full of zombies.
Was it Romero? Am I saying the wrong person? It was Romero who did it, right?
No, it was, the other guy. George Romero's the Night of the Living Dead guy.
Yes.
Oh.
It was, the Trauma guy. Roger Corman.
Oh, Corman. Okay, Corman. Well, actually, if Romero did it, we'd have the Marvel
Zombies.
Marvel Zombies, yes.
Damn it! I want that.
So Corman's was much more faithful to the actual characterizations of the characters.
That's true.
Than any of the reboots that we've had.
That's 100% accurate.
So, yeah.
So
wow. Okay, so we've just started a rumor. Marvel Zombies. Corman's gonna help. Yeah. So yeah, I'm happy. You sound happy too.
Yes.
Jake.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
What's the name of the guy from The Office? The one they're campaigning to play Reed Richards?
Krasinski?
Yeah, that guy. Him for Reed Richards. I'm on board with that.
All right. Oh, so the thing that's got me a little concerned though is when they said, "Here's our slate for Phase 4." There's only a few movies and a lot of television shows. So, and it's all going to be interconnected. So, do we have to watch the shows?
Probably. It's genius on Disney's part, isn't it?
Oh, yeah. Well, I guess they just sold 3 more subscriptions to Disney Plus.
We were getting it anyway.
And I don't know if we mentioned this, but one of the other related announcements during all this is that they're ending Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. after the next season.
Meh.
Yeah, meh. I'm sorry, I don't think anyone cares about Agents anymore.
I did. I liked it. You know?
I haven't even watched the season at all. I know that they brought in Evil Coulson or something, and yeah. All right.
No.
Let's move on that sad note. Let's move on to some DC news that came out. Whereas, Marvel blew everyone away. DC had some news about their TV shows.
Actually, they had some pretty good news about this stuff.
The first one, which I kind of find interesting, is Hush will be make an appearance on the Batwoman television series. So, JD, how do you feel about them including a person who was obsessed with Bruce Wayne and changed his appearance to look like him on the Batwoman TV show?
Pretty much that. I don't know.
Yeah.
Hush is not my favorite villain to begin with. The fact that this goes back a good 15 years. The fact that Hush isn't Jason Todd is the problem with Hush to begin with. So I've never really liked Hush all that much. But again, yeah, he looks like Bruce Wayne. So it just, I don't know. It just doesn't do it for me, to be honest with you. Maybe, I'm not going to watch the show anyway. So.
What is it with Hush anyway? Because, it was kind of I don't know. He's not like top 10 for the Rogues Gallery.
Oh, God, no.
But he's
because he was created by Jim Lee
and Jeff Loeb.
Oh,
the Hush is all about hype. Like Hush was in the early 2000s, in the mid 2000s, when comics had they weren't really hyping comics like they did in the 90s. Hush was the first hyped series in a long time, and it's not really that good. I mean, it's other than just being a Jim Lee getting a chance to draw everyone in the DC universe. Yeah. Like I said, if they hadn't psyched this out and not made it be Jason Todd, and eventually brought Jason Todd back anyway, it would have been really cool. But they didn't. And we got Tommy Elliott. And Tommy Elliott is like Bruce Wayne, but he actually killed his parents. Like, I don't know, man. The whole Hush thing is just very...
Right, but the way they're treating it, is like, I mean, it's not just bringing it into the TV series. They've also got the Blu-ray coming out, Batman Hush, which comes out August 6th.
That I get for a Blu-ray, for like one of those animated Blu-rays. It's a good story for one of those. Like for their direct-to-animation stuff, like that makes perfect sense to do a Hush story.
Isn't it too long for just one of those, though?
Well, cut it down. There's a lot of, like, Hush is like the definition of like decompressed comic storytelling. Like there's 3 or 4 chapters of Hush that could easily be taken out.
Yeah.
Like it's bloated, but it's also not terrible. I'm really crapping on it. I don't hate the Hush story. I just don't care for the ending.
It's no Court of Owls or anything.
No, Court of Owls is definitely better.
Right. And the thing is, as I alluded to when I asked you, JD, it's like the story's going to be a guy shows up, everyone thinks it's Bruce Wayne, and it's not Bruce Wayne. Like you already know how they're going to use the character on the show. It's not. There's no.
And we know we know the story. Right. Like you just basically told us 3 episodes, if not most of the season.
There's not going to be any surprise twist to anyone who knows the character, and it's like
right. Okay. And if they didn't tell us it was Hush, if they just said it was Bruce Wayne and revealed it to be Hush later on, maybe I'd feel differently about this whole thing.
But the fact that they hyped it up at San Diego, it's like you just ruined it. Thank you.
Yeah, I agree.
So, of course, they're going to have their huge crossover, their Crisis on Infinite Earths, this season.
Well, this is shaping up to be bigger than I thought it would be.
So the first thing is Burt Ward has confirmed to be part of it. And, of course, we all know Burt Ward is Robin from the 60s Batman TV show. I highly doubt that Burt Ward of 2019 is going to put on the tights and run around.
I really hope he's playing the Dick Grayson of that universe, though.
Yes.
That would be awesome.
Especially if Brandon Routh's going to play his Superman again.
Yes,
that's pretty cool.
Yes, Brandon Routh will be playing Superman.
Wouldn't it be nice if they got Tom Welling to come in, too?
So, I sent it right before we recorded.
I have a stink eye to this article, but go ahead.
Yes. This is a rumor that just came out that Linda Carter, who has been on Supergirl, plays the president.
Yep. Still has her fastball.
Yes, will be reprised. She will be playing a Wonder Woman, and that Tom Welling is going to be part of it as well. But we've heard many rumors that Tom Welling is going to come back in one way or another, and he has yet to do it.
Here's why I doubt this. The source that you use is also the same website that used that tried to say that Avengers Endgame was doing worse than Infinity War because of Captain Marvel. Like, that website is more than a tad suspect. I won't even dignify saying their name of their website.
I didn't say their name either.
So I will not give them a click. I'm very suspect.
I'm saying the only thing that gives that rumor weight is that Linda Carter is already involved with the CW shows. So it would be easy enough to have her play Wonder Woman of a different Earth. You know?
Well, they also spelled Linda Carter wrong in the article.
That is true. They did do that.
So
they spelled it with an I instead of a Y.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the fact that so if you watched Linda Carter's performance in the last couple of episodes she was on in Supergirl, I get the feeling she's getting a little bit old to. I mean, she looks great.
Yeah, but they put John Wesley Shipp into the Flash costume. Well,
yeah, but he's
a lot younger than Linda Carter too.
Yeah, Linda Carter is 67, but it's not just 67. It's that she seems like she might be going down a bit.
Yeah.
Whoa.
There were kind of, there were some slurred words a little bit.
So here's just kind of here's the interesting thing, right? In this rumor article, they said that Tom Welling would be playing the Kingdom Come version of Superman, which makes no sense, right? I mean,
they jumped on that because Brandon Routh actually wore the Kingdom Come Superman shirt,
right? But I was going to say, but like with Tom Welling makes the least amount of sense to play that. Brandon Routh makes more sense because he's older.
And he's also involved with the Legends?
Right.
So he's already in the family, and it's easy to bring him over.
But they could have Linda Carter play the Kingdom Come Wonder Woman. Again, older Wonder Woman. She doesn't have to be in the costume, just, it's Wonder Woman.
Yeah, she could do that, I'm sure.
So, it's just, I think it would make a lot of fans happy. But that's just me. What do I know?
Well, yeah, no, I'd be happy. I mean, but I wonder who else they could bring in. They still got. See, that's the thing, though. How much time do they have before they have to harden the script and they can't bring anybody else in? I'd like to see them bring a few more people in if they can.
They might have already filmed it. Who knows? At this point.
Yeah.
I I heard somewhere before, like, most of the shows, they're 4 weeks ahead. 4 or 5 weeks ahead. So, it's only July, so. But yeah, I'm sure the script is pretty close to finalized at this point.
Okay.
All right.
So,
and then
what else
we got Flash, season 6, and the villain was revealed to be Bloodwork. And I have to be honest, I have no idea who Bloodwork is.
Bloodwork his superpower is hemophilia. Apparently.
I don't even. I've read a lot of Flash books, and I'm not terribly familiar with that character.
No, he can control blood, which is something like. I mean, it's a superpower kind of like Flash, where you'd think that with that power there would be no storyline. He would just kill everybody around him.
Okay. So
that's it. That's it. He can control blood. He can also generate blood. But then, there's something having to do with whether he's calm or not. He can generate more or less. And he's kind of a weird character to be bringing on here. And I don't know. I mean, I'm glad that they're not bringing another speedster in. But still.
Yeah. No, I agree with that. Like, we've had enough with speedsters, but yeah, I don't know. It just seemed like an odd choice.
It's another bargain bin rogues gallery pick. I mean,
I'm just very surprised they never did a straight up rogues season.
I don't,
like a rogue or something like that. It's very weird to me that Flash has this. The rogues are typically like this gang. They really kind of avoided doing that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's an interesting point.
So, okay. So yeah, I mean, well, I think I don't know how they can get 23 episodes. 20 episodes if you count probably what they're going to do for the build-up for Crisis, but still, I don't see how they can get that much out of him.
No.
Unless they change him a lot,
They will.
They can do that.
Well, I wasn't sure how they were going to get a full season out of the Thinker, and they did.
Yeah, I guess. Although now, Vibe no longer exists, so that's interesting.
Really?
Oh yeah, he took the cure.
Oh.
He took the cure, and then now that Crisis is coming up, they could very easily give him his powers back, whether he wants them or not. So I don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
There, they might have just decided maybe he's I don't know, on his way out. I don't know.
I heard a rumor the actor wanted to leave the show, so.
Was that the same site that said that Linda Carter was?
No. But I think that's also weird too, because it's like he's supposed to be one of his best friends, and then he just leaves. I don't know, but I mean that's how TV works.
Well, yeah. I mean, he didn't leave. He took the cure. Now he's just going to be Cisco, the tech genius,
right? The man in the chair, because apparently every superhero needs one. All right, and the final bit of DC news that I included.
What the hell was this?
The new Watchmen trailer, the new, I guess, final Watchmen trailer was released.
I have a confusion. I went into this, watched the trailer, and knew less than I did before.
Seriously.
Yeah.
I've read that book 3 or 4 times. Nothing I saw on screen was like, yeah. Speechless.
Yeah, it's basically, I got nothing. I really have nothing on this.
It felt like a lot of, in the trailer, setting up the world and where they exist. You know?
Which is odd for a show that's basically a sequel.
Right.
It looks like they took the first few episodes, threw them into a blender, and then poured out half as the trailer.
I think that's exactly what I can't tell you it's exactly what they did, but I'm willing to bet that's what they did.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's...
Do you know what sets up the world of Watchmen really well? Watchmen.
This is true. That's a fair point. Yeah.
I just have...
And they had that tease at the end where it looked like it was Dr. Manhattan, but
it's Dr. Manhattan.
Are we sure?
Yeah. Got a blue hand. It's not. I mean, like, and he picked up the blue mask because, yeah, it's him. Why? I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, it's the whole, I don't know, man. This whole thing, I feel like Damon Lindelof read, like, the 6 of the 12 books and was like, I'm going to do my own thing and not finish it.
It could be.
Like, I don't know, man. The whole point of Watchmen was that superheroes are bad and that we shouldn't have them, and look what they've done. And to continue forward with it, I don't know. I'm really... If this wasn't Watchmen, if this show had a different name, I think I'd be more intrigued by it, because the show doesn't look bad.
Right.
But I just don't... It doesn't feel like Watchmen.
Well, they've had another show like that called Heroes, and that didn't do well either. So,
man, that was also lots of X-Men and Watchmen that were thrown into a blender and poured out.
Yeah, and it was very disappointing.
Season 1 was really good.
Hmm?
Season 1 was really good.
Except the end. So, and that's what I'm getting a feeling like this is going to be. But again, it's Watchmen. I'll watch an episode or two, see what it looks like, and then.
I mean,
I agree with
it. Feels like they're setting up some kind of it almost feels like they're setting up fractions, like these people factions. Sorry, these people worshipped Rorschach. These people worshipped, I can't think of any characters' names. The Owl. These people worshipped Dr. Manhattan, and it's just like, why? Like, and do they hate each other? Do they get along? Like, it's just so weird.
It does, and you don't get the trailer is definitely more of a vibe trailer than a plot trailer.
Yeah,
so much so.
But I don't know. Nothing of this show makes me excited to watch it. Like, I'm morbidly curious, more in a way of, well, how can they screw this up any more than they already have?
Right.
That's my feeling.
I kind of feel like, and I also feel like HBO's betting on this to be their Game of Thrones replacement.
While they quickly work on other Game of Thrones replacements. That's the vibe I have too, because they need something. But, I don't know. Like, this whole thing, something doesn't feel right about it, Is it supposed to be a sequel to the Snyder Watchmen? Because, with the music and stuff like that, it felt a little bit like they were going for it.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, they have
like John said, I know less about this show than I did.
They have to tie imagery and stuff into that movie because that's what most people are going to know. The majority of people haven't read the comic. The majority of people have seen that movie.
That's true. I don't know if the majority of people even saw that movie.
Well, that's true. Speaking of things that people used to watch that they loved, and now they're trying to bring it back, did you guys see the new Picard trailer?
Okay. Here's the thing.
I knew it.
I am no. I am subscribed to Crunchyroll, Rooster Teeth, Amazon Prime, Netflix, Hulu, DC, and probably some others I don't even remember that I don't have on my spreadsheet. But and I am paying, like, I work for a very large cable company, so I don't really pay much for cable, but even with as little as I pay for that and those others, I am paying a full cable bill now. I really don't want to subscribe to another streaming service. I watched this series, this trailer. I am going to subscribe to CBS All Access just for this.
All right, so right there is my problem. That's exactly what they're trying to do. It's like,
yes,
I know,
and it concerns me.
This is going to work,
and it concerns me because then it makes me wonder: is this going to be good, or is this just, hey, look, we got Picard and Data and 7-9 back? You know, all your favorite characters.
Brent Spinner, he vowed he would never play that character again. He said he was too old to play Data. Data was he was heavy on that. Data was never supposed to age, and he was getting old, and he literally did not want to play that character anymore. So I have no idea what he's doing in this.
Well, it's not Data.
Funny.
Well, I know it's B4.
Right, it's B4.
Whatever. Yeah. R2B4, sure. So yeah, I know, but he's still, Brent Spinner is, being there. Unless it's some kind of CGI, which would be really interesting.
No, I think that's him with heavy facial CGI on to make him still look like the Data. But someone pointed this out, and I'm like, yeah, like they did the smoothing on him to make him look young, but it makes him look chubby.
Yes.
And it's just like,
yeah,
Data's not chubby.
But
is Brent Spiner though? He might be chubby.
He might be at this point. I haven't seen him since the last Independence Day movie.
So beyond that, Jerry Ryan looks amazing. So and she was I liked her in
Voyager.
Voyager, yes, Voyager. She was one of the best things they added, and everybody got onto them because it's like, well, you hired this model, but she had acting chops.
She was the eye candy. Come on.
She was probably brought in because she was eye candy, but she brought a depth to that character. She was able to act that character, and when they gave her full episodes to flesh that character out, she made that work. She made you care about that character, and she was very good with it. Now, when they pulled the same thing on Enterprise with Blaylock, that was just pure eye candy because she couldn't do anything with that.
So GD, did you watch The Next Generation?
Parts of it. I was a kid when it was on, and I don't know. I just I like the Star Trek movies. I like the Next Generation movies a lot, to be honest with you. But I just kind of missed out on the series.
Okay.
I think I was just too young when it was on,
So there is a heavy nostalgia factor for this.
That's what I'm saying. So does the fact that they brought 7 and 9 and Data onto the show, and apparently Jonathan Frakes and Maria Sirtis have also said they are going to be involved with the show as well. So, Riker and Counselor Troy, like, does that make you want to go run out and subscribe to CBS All Access?
No.
Okay.
First Contact is my favorite Star Trek movie, but CBS is not getting my money. Like, better example. I love the original Twilight Zone. Like, love it, adore it. Like MeTV, I will watch the old Twilight Zones if I come across it. I've seen them all, love them. Jordan Peele, one of the finest new minds in horror.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's a perfect marriage for me. I will not get the CBS app. I won't do it. Like that is my line in the sand. I will not support an individual network that wants its own streaming platform. No, it's a dangerous, slippery slope that we're going down.
I fully agree with you. It's just that I guess because the nostalgia factor, because I remember like literally me and some of my family popping popcorn and sitting down and getting ready to watch the very first episode when it premiered.
So,
and being excited because I was a fan of the original series, and seeing the first shot of the new Enterprise D coming on, I just, I want to see this. I have to. If the episodes turn out to be crap, like the first 2 or 3 episodes, if the first episode turns out to be crap, I will come on here and I will tell everybody how bad CBS All Access is.
Okay.
Dave, how do you feel about this?
Well, like when they were launching Discovery, I was like, "Oh, cool, a new Star Trek show." And then it's like, "Oh, but you got to get CBS All Access." And I'm like, "Yeah, no,
See, that one wasn't worth it for me either.
And then, so then I saw this coming, and I'm like, wow, they're really trying to, like, get my money. Like, and I'm like, yeah, but if it's just Patrick Stewart being Picard and is it a limited, that's another thing. Like, is this a limited series? Is this supposed to be ongoing? Like, do I want to pay money for something that might only be one season where I could just wait for the Blu-ray to come out? Or digital download. Sorry, millennials.
We'll see though. I mean, the point of this is that we're not getting a prequel. We're not getting, this isn't like a side quest or another universe. We're getting a continuation of the Star Trek universe that everybody loves.
Well, that's another thing. They've destroyed the Star Trek universe.
J.J. Abrams did, but that's
isn't that a little hyperbolic? Like, isn't that a little much?
No, because number one, I watched the first 2 Star Trek movies. I have yet to actually see the third one, because it became more like, are you trying to compete with Fast and the Furious and Star Wars?
But that's the J.J. Abrams universe. Oh. This is the one that we care about.
Can I finish?
No, damn it, I'm excited. Go ahead.
But that's the whole thing. We don't know what universe this takes place in.
We do. This is a literal continuation of
How do you
Star
know?
Trek.
Where did you hear that from?
Because of the characters. They literally have several
That doesn't mean shit. They could still be in the screwed up timeline and things are different than they can now use the creative license to say, oh, well, this is actually what happened.
No, I don't think
See, there you go. You're putting all your hopes onto this and you're going to get it and then you're going to watch and you're like, well, wait, no, that didn't really happen in the show.
Dave, if they were going to do that, we would have heard about it. That would have been plastered.
You also have to remember there's the weird Paramount rules with Star Trek.
Go on.
Yeah.
There's between, I can't remember if it has something to do with Lucy Liu Productions and Paramount and
what?
There's one other that's involved. Oh yeah. Have you ever asked yourself, when J.J. Abrams made the Star Trek movies, why they made the Enterprise look so different and why the uniforms were different? Did you ever ask yourself, why do the Klingons look different in Discovery than they do in anything else that the Klingons have ever been in?
Because those were abominations.
They looked at, okay, I'm not the Star Trek guy, but I will play in this sandbox until I drown.
Oh, right.
The Klingons in the original series also look different than the ones that were established in Search for Spock.
Exactly.
Right.
And I know they make a joke out of it in the Deep Space Nine Triple episode. I did see some. I have seen some.
But there is a weird.
That is a gag.
There is a weird ruling. I don't remember where it came from, where every time they do a new series, depending on who is making it, it has to be X percentage different than anything else that's been done prior.
Why?
That's why the uniforms change. That's why the communicators look different. I don't remember exactly what the ruling is, because it has to do with the percentage that I think the Lucy Liu production still owns of the original Star Trek. Desilu, sorry.
Desilu, yeah. Lucy Liu is a completely different person.
Who had to do with any of this?
I know. I was wondering too. Like, oh, that's right. But okay. Now, but Dave, seriously, if this were going to be a different universe, look, there's too many articles on this already that there is not a hint of that at all.
That is all speculation at this point.
No, it isn't. We have a trailer.
We have a trailer that doesn't really tell you anything.
This really bothers you, doesn't it?
Oh my God!
This whole, well, I mean, this really bothers you. This timeline thing. Like, why can't it just be that this takes place in the original timeline and leave it at that?
And it should, but I don't think it's going to.
But it does. I mean, they have. There's too many little things in the trailer that prove without a doubt that this is the same Star Trek Next Generation universe. This is a continuation of that continuation.
I've already ruled that out because, again, the uniforms are different. When he's going to that Starfleet Academy,
it's been 20 years since this is 20 years later.
So they're still under that rule where they have to change so much, and because they have to, now they fly with that, and they change stuff, and it's just like, no.
Okay, Dave. Well, whatever. I mean, this is like, I don't know why this is a hill you're climbing, but I don't think you're going to win this one. This is just, it's a continuation. And
I think you're putting way too much faith into something you have no proof on yet.
We have a trailer. We have a trailer with dialogue that tells us that they're the same characters.
Okay.
Literally, we have the broken data and beef.
So this has nothing to do with Discovery.
I have no idea in the continuity where Discovery even fits
part of the problem.
Anymore.
That's part of the problem that people have with Discovery, because it craps over all the original story, all the original timelines.
Right.
So,
well, I kind of agree with Dave on that one. Discovery was like introducing stuff that was just blew holes in everything. I mean, like we're used to plot holes and continuity errors, but that was ridiculous. I don't even consider that to exist, that series.
Right. And I've read articles too when they talk about the Star Trek Bible, and the writers of the show said, nah, screw it. We're just going to do our own thing. And it was just like, okay, well then you've guaranteed I will never watch your show.
Right. And a lot of people haven't been watching that show, and that would actually also point to the reason why they would then go and do a series in the same continuity that people love with characters that they love, because this is like,
well, when you gentlemen,
yep.
Time. Yep. Hold on 1 second. Please continue. I just need to make an announcement that my child has a very bad case of the poops, and I have to go clean up a mess. Please, I'm going to bow out early. I will catch up on the rest of this conversation on Wednesday when the episode comes out. Peace out, my friends.
No problem, man. I think our argument has a case of the poops, too.
And that is how you exit an episode, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah. You announced that your son has a case of the poops. Well, I'll tell you what.
This episode.
That's going to be the name of the episode, Case of the Poops.
Oh, God.
You're going to subscribe, and then you can tell me all about the show, and then I'll decide if I'm going to subscribe or not.
Yeah, please,
and that's
everybody,
the other thing I hate.
Tell Dave how wrong he is. Thank you.
That's the other thing I hate about CBS All Access is they don't release it all at once. They release it weekly like a regular show, and it's like, really?
See, then I might wait 2 or 3 weeks for 3 episodes. I'll accrue 3 episodes, then I'll sign up, watch those 3 episodes, and if it's bad, or they crap all over the continuity, or they pull what you're saying, then I'm out.
All right.
You know.
So the last bit of news I had, and it really was just for me. I don't know if JD watched the first 2 seasons, but they released the season 3 trailer of Westworld, which
I saw the first season. I haven't seen the second season. I don't know that I have much interest in finishing that. Not a little bit because I just don't have time to watch all this stuff anymore. But the other thing is, I think the plot got a little too intricate, a little too weird.
No.
Well, in the face of my feelings, that no actually has convinced me to change my mind.
Good. I'm glad. See, I'm only here to help. No. So for those who followed the first 2 seasons, because it kind of felt like, where are they going to go with this? Because by the end of season 2, basically the park was destroyed, and a couple of the hosts escaped, and you kind of wondered, like, what are they going to do? And so season 3 they're setting up, and it takes place out in the real world. They're no longer in the park. So I think that's kind of an interesting twist. And then, of course, there's a guy who's walking around who's going to probably be the main focus, at least I think, for the first part of the season, and talking about living in this world where he doesn't know what's real and what's not real. And
at what point are they going to start calling them replicants?
They're not replicants; they're hosts.
I know. No, I mean, this is starting to look like a prequel to Blade Runner.
And long story short, he's trying to he's looking for something more in his life, and then he sees a woman who looks like she's in trouble, and he asks her if she needs any help, and it ends up being Dolores at the end of the trailer. And if you haven't watched the first 2 seasons or the second season, you don't understand why that's so significant. But yeah, it should be interesting. It kind of hooked, I wasn't sure about it season 3, and this trailer hooked me in, so I'm definitely going to be watching it.
Interesting.
The problem with Westworld is, it's 2 years in between seasons.
Yeah, well, that's also a problem. And I mean, I'm if I have time between CW, all the anime I watch, and the book I'm writing, which I am now forced to finish, I may pick this up. What might move this up the line for me is, I mean, hell, they have animatronic horses. Just make a raptor or 2 and make it Jurassic World.
Yeah.
Jurassic Westworld.
Well, it's so funny because people thought they would, after season 1, they would start showing the other parks, because apparently there were other parks in besides Westworld, and they didn't. So, they did have another park. It was the Shogun World, but then there was no other parks. And you have to imagine, if you can totally create a world, and there's a bunch of replicants, as you put it, but they're hosts that look like anyone you want and will do whatever you want. There had to have been dozens of worlds for people to go explore.
Oh yeah.
So,
especially the one with cats that no one will talk about. Human-shaped cats. One populated completely by lollies. Anime people will get that. It's just the depths of human depravity are endless.
Yes, they are. So anyway. I'm going to check it out, and I will update people as I'm watching it, because I really want to see it. If you're a fan of Westworld, let us know. And if you guys are excited about any of the stuff that we talked about on this week's episode, let us know. We're always looking for feedback. We normally do feedback in our social media madness section, but again, there was so much to talk about this week. We cut it out this week. So, So I think that's it. Unless you have anything else you want to add.
No, I'm good. I've got nothing else to review at this point, so.
All right, boys and girls. Well, on that note, If you have a case of the poops, hurry up and go.
Poor JD. Poor JD.
But as always, thanks for listening. And don't let your cape get caught in the toilet. Have a good week.